Hey YouTube, it's GW here. Today I'm doing a video response for Underworld 6667 and his challenge to his viewers to review what we believe to be the best pack of all time. Today I wanted to talk about the pack Magic Ruler and how it changed the game and has given us tons of broken cards. To start off, I want to start off with some basic monster support that they came out with. Honestly, the monsters are quite bad in this set, but it did give us the original Skull Servant, which was oftentimes believed to be the worst card, and now it has a whole deck type around it that's very playable and quite competitive. You have Mahavalo, which now isn't very good, but back in the day with the next card I'm talking about, it was a 3050 beater that pretty much destroyed everything from, Lajin the Mystical Genie to even Blue Eyes White Dragon. The next card I'm talking about is Axe of Despair. Axe of Despair back in the day was broken. 1000 attack, it made your Lajin, your Neo Magical Swordsman. It made everything that was played, except for Maneater Bug, kill Summon Skull, which was huge, because getting rid of Summon Skull once it hit the field, and your trap hole was no longer active, the only out you really had to it was Mirror Force. Magic Ruler, or Spell Ruler, was also great because it established the whole burn archetype with the release of Toll and Chain Energy. Even to this day, they're some of the most frustrating cards to play around. It also gave us the beloved Relinquished, which was the first major jump for a playable ritual monster, and even the deck is still played today, to even some moderate success. The next thing I want to talk about is the spells. I mean, it's called Magic or Spell Ruler for a reason. There's 8 cards in this set that have been banned or have been limited at some time or another. 5 are currently banned. The first one is Upstart Goblin. Drawing a card for 1,000 life points may not seem like much at first, especially when the set came out, but with OTKs and FTKs and alternate win conditions, this card was quickly restricted, and now it's not anymore. It's not as good anymore. But back in the day when Exodia and Last Turn and all these broken decks were around, this card was a main reason for it. It was the original Pot of Duality for these decks. Next is Snatch Steal. That card's kind of gone on and off the list, especially with Book of Moon, kind of countering it to an extent. But Snatch Steal, take a face-up monster for free, beat him over the head with it. A lot of times it didn't even come to the point where the fact that they gain 1,000 life points during your opponent's standby phase mattered, because the game was already over. Magic Ruler introduced the pre-negators, and that in itself created a whole new deck types. It created the Yada Lock and hand control with stuff like Donzalug and Mystic Tomato Control and stuff like that. Without those 3 cards, Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, and Forceful Sentry, those decks probably don't exist in the way they do and the way they were so effective. Delinquent Duo, you talk to anyone, and it's one of the most broken cards ever released. It's definitely in the top 10. Paying 1,000 life points to hit 2 cards, usually on your opponent's first turn, and it's almost impossible to come back from. And then the other 2, Confiscation and Forceful Sentry, those 2 are almost as good. You get to look at your opponent's hand and pick the answer that you want to get rid of. MST was actually introduced in this set, and it's ranged from 3 to 2 to 1, being able to use in decks. It was used in 3 when Mirage and Nightmare was legal for just mass draw. It's always been used as back row hate. Uses just to clear the field for an open attack. Again, Giant Trunade, for the same reason, was introduced in this set. It's currently limited. It's one of those things that, it's one of those cards that gets over the answers that try to counter it. Like, MST, stuff like Fake Trap and stuff back in the day, and like, I think Pharaoh's Servant came out, MST was hit by, Fake Trap countered MST, whereas Giant Trunade rolled all over it and cleared the back row no matter what, because it cleared the back row and because it didn't destroy. The next card I want to talk about is probably the most broken card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! History. It just created just massive combos. It did so much work, and that's Painful Choice. You know, imagine a format with Painful Choice in the Light Swarm format, or, you know, imagine Painful Choice, you know, at the end of the Chaos format, or Painful Choice in any deck. Dandelion just abuses it. Sinister Serpent abused it. You know, it's just pluses, crazy pluses. You know, you can generate anywhere from a +1 to a plus, with Dandelion or equivalent, you could probably generate like a +6. It was just so ridiculous for one card, and it also was deck thinning. Every deck ran it just because of deck thinning. So those are some of the cards that, you know, I wanted to go over and talk to you about, and why Spell Ruler or Magic Ruler was such a great set. It essentially changed the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, it changed the game in the way that stuff was no longer summon, attack, you know, oh, I hit Man-Eater Bug, or oh, I hit Trap Hole. Next turn, summon bigger monster, attack. Like, it changed the fact that there was more than, you know, Summon Skull, Neo, the Magic Swordswoman, Summon Skull, Lajin, 7-colored fish. You know, it created more variety for the game, and it was the first set to do so. Thanks for all for listening. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.